Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne. This is the Narrow Gate of Jesus YouTube channel. This is going to be like a personal message of God the Father for a man called the Apostle from South Africa that gets mentioned in our fireplace chats and mentioned in other videos that I do. I did a 2 hour video from the Father last night, and it was filled with rebuke. It was a very, very hard message. It'd be very hard for an average Christian to receive it. And this apostle from South Africa, it was focused on him and another person who watches my videos, three people it was addressed to, plus the Christian church. And this apostle took it really well and repented and committed to do everything the Father had said to do. So this is just a personal message from him, from God, just as an encouragement. So God says, I'm very happy with you today, my son. I have got a vested interest in bringing you into a relationship as my friend. I, because I live outside of time, I can see things that'll happen in the next 10 and 20 and 30 years in your life. And I've got every step planned. As you know, from the messages that have come forth in God's Last Days message to his children, book series and video series, and the fireplace chats with the Trinity series, you will have known that Matthew lived a former life, not as a human, because no human can live two lives unless they haven't died, like Enoch and Elijah. But there can be no reincarnation of human life unless they've experienced death. If they've experienced death as a human, there can't be two lives as a human. But Matthew lived a life of an angel before he was born. His mother actually said to him that when Matthew came out of her womb, he was shining. And she said to him at one stage that I thought I'd given birth to an angel. And so there was a physical sign like Moses when he was born, he was shining. And Matthew possesses a whole lot of knowledge of the Word of God, a whole lot of wisdom from the Word of God that he's never read in the Bible. He brings my voice and brings a message that aligns with the Word of God, but many of the things he says aren't based on verses that he actually knows, but as an angel who's spent thousands of years in heaven and doing the work of God, he understands my spiritual principles. He understands the theology of the Word of God, and so sometimes he comes out with dramatic wisdom. I really liked the part last night where I gave Matthew the rhema that many are called, a few are chosen. And, there's billions of people that are called on earth into relationship with Jesus. But there's only a few friends that I have. When Jesus said, narrow and difficult is the path that leads to life, and few find it, very few people would understand that only 100 people find it. They live a Christian life, and there's a lot of happy Christians, but very few people find a deep and abiding friendship with me. I intend on using this angel of mine to personally invest his time into mentoring you, and it'll go off. I may I may have Matthew do Zoom meetings with both you and the other man that Matthew forgets his name. He's a bit tired, um, and doing Zoom meetings together, discussing one book, and you both are asking questions about the book and doing a teaching on that book. And over the course of 50 weeks, we'll discuss 50 books. And or I'm just giving Matthew a Rhema now. Why don't we do the first year with discussing the 50 commandments, and you and the other guy and the other friend you have in South Africa come up with 5 or 10 questions each about each commandment. And we have a Zoom meeting and you ask all your questions, and I and Matthew answer the questions through the videos, so that you actually are mentored and taught deep things, and Matthew can bring deep revelations from me on each of the commandments. And you can ask questions about the answers and questions about those answers, and have a time where it's a thorough teaching. I dearly love you, you and Gerald is his name. Matthew was forgetting his name. You and Gerald and the other friend you have in South Africa bring Matthew great joy with your comments. And it truly is what Gerald said, that he'd lived his whole life and went through a whole lot of preparation to reach a stage where he could actually receive the message, and the message coming from this ministry of Matthew's. Matthew, even though he's a friend of mine, and even though he's sometimes beat Mary Magdalene as the closest to Jesus in the week, and he often has won the week of Mary, and he's extremely close to Jesus and really popular in the heaven. Even though all that exists, he just thinks he's a normal man. Like as a teacher, he believes anyone can get to his stage. As a person who's got to that stage himself, he believes he can teach other people how to get to that stage. But it's going to take a lot of work. Matthew's been working. He's been a Christian for 50 years now, and he's done a lot of work, and he's gone through a lot of tests, and he's been refined a lot to get to this stage. So I can't promise you that it'll be easy, but it'll be thorough. Perhaps the Zoom meetings, you can set up a screen in your church, and have a midweek meeting on a Wednesday night, for instance, and instead of bringing a teaching, you played a Zoom meeting with Gerald, Matthew, and the other apostle, the other friend from South Africa, whoever's on the Zoom meeting, and you played a Zoom meeting about each of the commandments each week. And you can have your people come out one night a week to watch an hour and a half, 2-hour video of a teaching on one of the commandments. That way, not only you are being mentored on the call, but the replay of the video in your church is teaching all your people. I dearly love you. I have a great affection for you. Ever since Matthew delivered the message, he's been being attacked that it's not really God speaking. God would never say that he finds Christians disgusting, and that's not God saying that. He dearly loves Christians, but just like there's a wrong taste in a meal, there's a wrong ingredient. Ingredient has been burnt, or you put meat in a curry where the meat was off and you didn't realize it. You cut it into the curry. You can have a recipe that turns out to be disgusting in taste, but it wasn't your intention. It's because an imperfection has made its way into the dish. There's an imperfection called the world that has seeped into the Christian church. There's things that are wrong with the Christian church and many Christians that have stopped them from loving, has stopped them from having compassion, has stopped them from following in the narrow gate. And although Matthew was pretty happy, he doesn't often watch his videos back, and he listened to that video back again after he did it, and he was happy with it. He's been assaulted all night, and your feedback and your comment on the video, agreeing to do everything in the video and pay the $1,000 US for the mentorship, that gave him great courage and stripped off all the doubt about the message. I am a hidden God, just like Matthew's a hidden prophet. There's many great international prophets that sit at Matthew's feet in heaven. There's people that had great platforms that have been waiting to hear this message. There's Bob Jones, who for a while was a mentor of Matthew, and John Paul Jackson and Billy Graham. They all say how wonderful the revival was last night as that message played. They all are, as I speak, are giving Matthew confirmation that he's on the right track and he's busted open something. So let the new wine flow, and let you not only be a partaker in this ministry of this hidden prophet, but in the process of the ministry, may you become my friend. It's that Matthew's been meditating on for years since he found out he wasn't going to have an international ministry. It was promised to him through 100 prophecies over 30 years that he was going to have an international ministry, and people who'll have the greatest name on earth, a name like Billy Graham. He lived on those false prophecies for years, and when he found out he wasn't going to be that, we told him that we only prophesied those things to keep him alive, because he would have suicided, and we had to give him this false hope. Well, now he's not the greatest evangelist on earth, and he's going to be hidden, but he's the greatest preacher in heaven. And Billy Graham, who's a great preacher, and John Paul Jackson and Bob Jones, who are pretty good preachers themselves, all concur that yesterday's message was one of the most profound messages that I could speak. Don't get me wrong, even though the dish is wrong, even though there's something in the wrong flavour in the Christian church, and even though Satan has come into the church and filled the church with his own preachers, there's going to be a revival on earth, and perhaps you're going to be someone who sees that revival and brings that revival. But first, for the present moment, there's going to be a revival in heaven. The people in heaven were really rebuked and really touched by that message last night. And as Tulu and Matthew grow closer to me, questions will improve, and I'll open up, and I will no longer be a hidden God. I'll no longer be hidden from view. And Tulu will be asking some very personal questions. And depending on Matthew's sleep cycle, if he hasn't had a lot of sleep and he's in a bit of mania, you'll see tears come to his eyes. When he's in mania, if I say something in anger, the anger's really expressed. If I say something that's really sad and depressing, tears come to his eyes. When he's in mania, any sort of emotion is highlighted and made big. So he was in a bit of mania last night, hadn't had a lot of sleep. And so if I wanted to bring out a really strong rebuke, he was used last night to bring that. But it's a huge commitment of time for you to put in an hour or 2 hours each week to come under the tutorship. And who knows, you could you could choose which way you want to do. You want to cover 50 books, or you want to cover the 50 commandments of Jesus, or the 54 parables of Jesus in your first year. And to cover the 50 commandments, you'd have to have a year for that. And the 54 parables, you'd have to have a year for that. And they're the most important books that Matthew's produced, and that's my narrow gate. That's the narrow gate Jesus talked about. So they're the most important. And if you could arrange to have a weekly meeting with your church, then you'd be able to bring that teaching to them too. And I'd see you asking questions and asking follow-up questions. And essentially, it would be me speaking, but you would be asking the questions and the follow-up questions. So to see you as their leader, taking them into a deeper place. We've got exciting times together. Matthew had been asked by lots of people, especially Africans, if he could be their mentor, and he'd never taken people up. He told people if they want to read one of his books and write a whole lot of questions for that book, that he'll do a video and answer their questions, but they never followed up. It's like they wanted Matthew to make a commitment to teach them to be something great, but they weren't going to make a commitment themselves. And so who knows, your and Gerald's mentorship Zoom meetings videos could be made into a course that could be sold, or it'd be a really effective playlist to have on YouTube that people could access and be mentored by. I really dearly love you. I'm so proud and overjoyed that you enjoyed the message 26, and I commit myself to you, to train you to be one of my warriors. In these last days, I commit myself to raise you up in wisdom not knowledge, wisdom, and and activate every verse that you know, and have you obeying every verse and walking circumspectly. And may you and your future wife really become really strong and wise leaders. You could get her to join on the Zoom meetings too, if you like, and it would be no extra effort by Matthew, and so you wouldn't have to pay for her. But I appreciate that you'd pay it by installments, and it sounds like it would be a big expense for you, and that's a good thing because we need to make precious the things that are meant to be precious. And to get an hour or 2 hours having question time with God would be something really beneficial. It'd be beneficial for you, especially, to get your questions answered, but it'd be highly beneficial for people who watch the videos and listen to all the questions. God bless you. I'm speaking, so may my blessings pour down on you as you continue to invest your time and take the time to make comments and start to obey the things that I tell you in words of wisdom in my messages. Um, I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to the comment.